Back in 2015, I wrote a book called El Presidente, The American Dream. And so all of us have an opinion of what the American dream is for them, what fits them through. I tell everybody there's no right or wrong, whether you're an employee, you're self-employed, you're a business owner, you're an investor. It's what you believe is right for you in your life. And so I tell a lot of people, you have to analyze who you are and what you're doing in life and what it is you want to accomplish. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey, talks about starting in the end. So meaning that you start at how you want your business to look like in the end, your retirement, selling the business, exiting, whatever you want to call it. You start with, what color does it look like? How many people do you got working for you? How much money do you determine that you're going to be making? And so you start with that end plan. Then as soon as you finish that, writing those things that you want to accomplish, you go to the beginning of where you're at right now. For example, I went and bought all my funeral plots. I bought an estate, 24 plots. That's the end. That's what Stephen Covey got me to look at, is that in the end, I'm going to be buried. I'm going to die. I'm going to need my coffin. And I didn't want to leave my children having to cook chickens, killing goats, having a fundraiser to bury me when it's my obligation to take care of this. So I went and bought 24 plots, and people thought I was crazy. I did a video at the funeral plot. Look, I got 10 years in, I ain't died. And the myth is that if you buy, you're going to die, and all this crazy stuff in the Latino culture. Well, about the 24 plots, I've been burying people there, my mother, my grandmother, uncle, a couple of other relatives. And then I started buying more plots, and people thought I was just crazy. But the minute that somebody passes away, I'm the first person they think about, because I'm the oldest son, oldest grandson, oldest nephew. So you already know everybody goes to the oldest or the baby. It's the baby that really gets his stuff together after seeing the older siblings fall and fell and everything. So I tell a lot of people, I started breaking a lot of myths as far as that. I'm going to let Sancho take care of my wife when I die. If I love my wife and kids, I'm going to do what's right and buy the life insurance, do the funeral plots and everything. And sure, I've had life insurance cancel on me because I couldn't pay it. And so I struggled. And finally I said, you know what? I'm going to go buy the plots. I'm going to go buy the coffins. I'm going to go buy all that. And then I got the life insurance, which I've kept up now with, so that my wife, when I pass away, is not struggling and having to marry somebody just for financial needs, because I took care of my obligation as a man, as a husband, as a father, as a son. I did the things that I needed to do. So that's a lot of myths that we grow up with, that's passed on from generation to generation. And I preach that the worst myth that we taught our kids was to work hard to make a lot of money, only to pay a lot of taxes. Robert Kiyosaki opened my mind to that. Donald Trump. You can hate the man. You can love the man. You got to believe in what the man has done. I'm following his footsteps. I'm selling T-shirts, caps, mugs, everything that I can in my business model. So what I tell a lot of entrepreneurs that are starting out, look, you got to figure out what your priorities are. You can't just jump on the new shiny thing. You're going to make a lot of money here. Create your priorities, create those goals, create the end result of what your personal, your spiritual, and your business life would look like. If I was to do it all over, I would look for the mentor that could have taught me that. I was failing forward, just falling, failing, went to bankruptcy, went through divorce. I just wish I would have had those mentors, or I would have been wise enough to look for those mentors, because they were out there. They're always out there. We just got to go find them. They're like nuggets in the streets just waiting for us to get out and yell at wisdom to come in. But for that, you have to read. You have to find those right individuals and find those that fell. Find those that went through some battles. Why did you give up? Why did you quit? Why didn't you continue? What are the answers that they're giving you? Because it's easy to quit. I could quit today, tomorrow, next week. And so I tell people all the time, it's the resilience of dusting yourself off after every fall, getting back up, and knowing that your spouse, your kids, and all those that depend on you are watching you. They're watching you to see what you're going to do. And the greatest example that I say is getting up, dusting yourself off, and letting them know that it's okay to have a setback or be in the jaws of defeat, and work your way out of those jaws of defeat and figuring it out step by step. But I always tell people, start with the end in mind. What does it look like? Visualize it, picture it. And then once you can do that, put it on the wall. I got my Forbes magazine picture. I put my picture on there. I got Forbes magazine on it. And now I got 4 different publishers wanting to put me out on Forbes right now. So, believing, seeing, whatever you want to call it, secret wisdom, however you want to look at it, start living your dream. Start finding those people that can help you through this process and the dreams.